welcome back to the channel. And can you smell what the Brodge is cooking? Celtic 4, Ross County 2. A good way to open up our Scottish Premiership campaign for the 2023-24 season on our bid to win 3 in a row. And of course, Brendan Rodgers' first competitive game back as Celtic manager. It's 3 points and up the road. The flag has been unfurled and Celtic have started off quite strong. I was happy with what I seen today. I thought it was a good performance from start to finish. There's obviously some wee things to talk about, you know, some positives, some negatives. And we're going to try and cover it all in the first match reaction of the season. We are live today. So yeah, of course, it's different from the normal video format that I would normally do on this channel. But I decided we'll go live so I can go and get a pint. quite simply, so I can get a pint. We'll try and keep it short. I'm going to keep it to 10-15 minutes so that people can watch it back in video form. But if you haven't already, make sure to hit like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. And get involved. We'll get some of your thoughts as it goes on. But yeah, first game back was always going to be a difficult test for us today. I didn't think it was going to be any walk in the park. You know, obviously, the factor of competition being the main thing. Ross County want to start their season off as strong as possible. They don't want to be any layovers. They have been tipped for relegation. They were going to come out today and try and do something. But also because it's the first competitive game for this new Celtic style. You know, we are changing. We've got to remember there is now a transition period between what we were used to under Ange Postecoglou to now Brendan Rodgers. We are in many ways, you know, combining what we've done over the last couple of years to this new era under Rodgers, but also in the same way reverting back to the same kind of philosophy and system that Brendan Rodgers once had in place with an entirely different side. Remember, he's only came into this side with 2 or 3 players who played for him in his original spell as manager. So there's a lot of players who will be adapting, who will be changing. And I think you've seen some signs of that today. You've seen some similarities to the old Rodgers ways. But you also seen, obviously, things that were brought in, that Ange brought in, you know, things that stay the same, you know, the way that Maida and Kyogo and such were playing. You know, he's not going to change things that were working. He's going to try and blend it in with his own style. And I think we've seen evidence and strong points of that today. Well, also, of course, conceding 2 goals, which comes with its negative things that we need to iron out. So there is stuff to do. There is things to fix. And I'm sure that Brendan Rodgers will address that on the training ground through the week. But in terms of a general start to the campaign, to score 4 goals, 3 of them being, obviously 1 being a penalty, 3 of them being good quality goals as well, with good phases of play in between. I'm walking away from Celtic Park today very happy, and to get back was just brilliant in itself, wasn't it? I think that everybody, I don't know how many people here in the comments were actually at the game today, but in terms of just getting back, the whole feeling of walking up to the ground, being in the stadium, all of that, it's fantastic. But let's go through the game as we normally would. First, second half, 3 things we've learned, and then I'll get some of your comments as well. You could see in the first 10-15 minutes of the game, it was trying to get the feelers, you know, trying to get into the game, just the standard stuff, and obviously just getting used to being back and playing competitive football, and also having to deal with the fact that Ross County really did go for it in the first sort of, you know, 10-15 minutes. They weren't hiding, they weren't camping behind the ball to open the game. They were probably really annoyed at themselves that they gave away a penalty, because up until they gave the penalty away, I feel like that Ross County actually had a bit of a, you know, quality in the game, and they had a lot of the ball compared to what a team normally visiting from the league would at Celtic Park. They'll probably be quite gutted that they gave away a penalty to allow Celtic to find the lead. So I thought the first 10-15 minutes weren't exactly bad from us, but you could see we were obviously trying to find ourselves in the game. And then the penalty obviously helped us get that confidence that we needed just to go and do our own thing. After that, David Turnbull put it away, a clear penalty for Celtic, and Turnbull opened his account for the season after what I thought was a really a big surprise to see him on the team sheet. I didn't expect Turnbull to start the game. Now, if you've watched my videos through the week, I've spoke about how I think Turnbull will have a massive part to play this season, and I think that he could have a bit of a resurgence. I didn't expect Hatate to be dropped for him today, so that was a surprise. But he made up, you know, he gave us everything. He made a cracking effort of it by scoring 2 goals. But he got that first goal. He then got the goal in the 42nd minute as well, and then obviously Kyogo in between. Kyogo's goal, just talk about that for a moment. Now, Brendan Rodgers' style of football obviously has a lot of kind of side-to-side pass and a lot of build-up play. But the goal for Kyogo was absolutely brilliant. It was fantastic play from Celtic. Lee Alabada and Kyogo have not skipped a beat. That relationship that they have, the existing kind of you could say, just rhythm and chemistry that they have, that's still there. And it was a brilliant goal against the run of play. We broke out pretty well, and the pass was just spot on. I actually thought, from my seat at Celtic Park at first, I actually thought that Kyogo kind of scuffed at it and put it over. It was going to put it over the bar, or not put enough power in it, or something like that. But it was a brilliant finish from a brilliant pass. And as I said, those two have not skipped a beat. And then the third goal, right before half time, my oh my, Matt O'Reilly. Stop that, son. Behave yourself. Matt O'Reilly, twinkle toes, dancing into the opposition's area, getting the ball across from Turnbull. A fantastic finish from him. It was a good way to end out the half, and 3-0 up at half time is exactly where you want to be. So yeah, 3-0 at half time. Second half, kind of foot came off the gas a little bit, didn't it? We only got the one goal, O'Reilly scoring it towards the end, but we did concede 2 goals, and we will talk about conceding goals as we get onto the 3 things we learned section of it. But yeah, we weren't the same. I don't think we had the same intensity in the second half, but I was fine with what we've seen. Just defensively, there are things to iron out, obviously. Now, what I will say is I was happy. If we look at individual performances, obviously Nawrowski came off for Starfelt a little bit later on in the game, but I like Nawrowski. I think he looks good. I was really happy with his performance today. But I think that there's evidence that there is need for improvement in the back line. From the 2 goals we get, look, I'm not one to, you know me, I try and actually preach that we shouldn't overreact and panic about things, especially early doors in the season, but I think there is a need for reinforcement in the full-back areas. I love Greg Taylor, but we need strength in the left-back position. We need someone who is maybe a level above Greg Taylor, I think, just to complete the back line. You look at our strongest back line right now, when Johnson's back fit, it'll be Johnson, Vickers, Nawrowski, and then Taylor. I do genuinely think that we could probably, and Taylor had a fantastic campaign last year. I'm not saying he's not good enough and he's done, whatever. I just feel like him and Bernabei being the only 2 options, I would maybe like to see someone come in. And then in terms of depth at the right back position as well, I think that there's probably need for somebody else. I thought that Tony Ralston was probably one of the poorer performers in the park today for Celtic, and it does beg the question of whether or not he is up to the standard if we need to rely on him. Johnson is the gulf between Johnson and Ralston is huge, and if Johnson does drop out with an injury, especially when it comes to the bigger games, the derby games, the European games, the cup finals, etc., is there confidence to say that Ralston is good enough to hold the position? For me, nah, not really. And I think that for a team like Ross County, we probably allowed them a lot more freedom than they should have had, especially coming in from areas where the fullback should be challenging them. I think there maybe is a need to touch on those areas. We conceded 2 goals that we probably should not be conceding. The defending for the first one, especially for White's goal, was pretty poor. And that's something that needs to be corrected, and that's something that needs to be looked at. And we'll come on to talking about the goalkeeper situation and the 3 things that we've learned. But Celtic did fire back after the first goal conceded. A brilliant goal from Matt O'Reilly, who once again, fantastic from him. Great finish, just brilliant. And then obviously we conceded right at the death of the game in the 95th minute. Just a lapse of concentration, you could say, as the goal went in. But overall, from start to finish, over the 90 minutes, for an opening day performance, I'm happy with that. As I said, this is going to be a change. People need to now, like, you could actually notice things, and I know we loved it and we got used to it. We never stop, quick throw-in attitudes of Ange Postecoglou, quick set pieces, etc. It's not Rodgers' philosophy. It's not what Rodgers does as a manager. He has his own distinct style, and it's a successful style. It's a successful style that's seen 7 out of 7 honours in Scotland, a successful style that's seen FA Cup wins, Community Shield wins, European success, semi-finals. Could call that success for Leicester, I suppose. It works, but it is going to take time to kind of get it into the team. I don't think that there's any need to be disappointed with a 4-2 win in the opening game of the season. We await eagerly to see what happens later on in the game. But yeah, generally, I'm happy with that. Leave the stadium pretty happy. I see a few people not so happy in the comments, but listen, first game, it'll get better as time goes on. Yeah, let's go into the 3 things we've learned, and then I'll come on to your guys' thoughts and your questions. First things first, Joe Hart. 3 things we've learned. Joe Hart, we need a keeper. It's over. The beautiful look, he's up there. He's right. Where is he? There you are, Joe. Hello. I love him to bits. He's been a fantastic servant to Celtic Football Club. He came in and he done his job. We need a keeper. It needs to be addressed. It has to be addressed ASAP. Joe Hart can't be our number one this entire campaign. He doesn't look up for it. Now, I'm trying to be as lenient as possible, and I'm trying to be as understanding where, like, you know, pre-seasons just kind of happen. Keepers have been thrown in and out. He's not played consistent minutes, etc., etc. But the signs are there, and when the signs and the alarm bells are there, you need to act on it if you're serious about success and you're serious about, you know, going the full Monty that Brendan Rodgers wants to go. You know, he really wants us to go and challenge in Europe. You're not going to challenge in Europe with Joe Hart dropping the ball and not looking confident with the ball at his feet and passing it to the opposition. The alarm bells are ringing, and Celtic need to capitalise on that. They need to go and sign a keeper. Now, I see people asking about Livakovic. He's still not got a club. Are Celtic serious about it? Are Celtic really, you know, wanting to be big? They should be, and they should go and do something about it. But they need to do it fast. You know, they need to bring in a keeper. They need to get one settled. They need to get one that's good with the ball at their feet. And they need to just improve on what we've got, because Joe Hart's making too many mistakes. And I love him, and there's a place for him at Celtic. But his place isn't being the number one week in, week out. It's just not. It's done. It's over. And I love him to bits. You know how much I love Joe Hart. I idolise him. After everything that I gave him as well, the stick coming into the club, he's been fantastic. But my heart was in the arse too many times today to sit here and say I'm confident for him being the keeper this campaign. I would be lying through my teeth if I said that I'm fine with him being in goals. And that's simply it. That was the first thing. Second thing, David Turnbull, he's backing up everything that I've been saying and a lot of people have been saying through the week. He's got something to play for this season. If he keeps playing like the way he has in pre-season, this opening game, I think a new contract might be on the card soon for David Turnbull. He's got 1 year left on the deal. And if Brendan Rodgers genuinely wants to use him and wants to implement him into his this team, which I think could be perfectly suited for Turnbull, I think a contract might be on the card soon, but he's going to have a big campaign. Whether it is starting games, chipping in from the bench, Turnbull's got a lot to play for. And a lot of people always question David Turnbull and, you know, his kind of ethic in the game. So people always just highlight mostly shooting and he scores from range, but people are always critical of how much he runs and if he's got that same ethic the likes of Hatate does. But today it looked like it. He was running. He was doing the hard work alongside the goal scoring and everything. He was doing the nitty gritty as well. He's going to have a huge season. And third thing, Matt O'Reilly is if I was to do my early pre-season predictions, I think Matt O'Reilly might be Player of the Year. I think he might be it for us this season. If he stays fit and healthy and he's playing week in, week out, he's going to look like an undroppable player. He was dancing in and around the Ross County defenders today. His assist was marvellous. His goal was marvellous. He oozes class and he is perfect for Brendan Rodgers. Perfect. Remember back when we signed O'Reilly, after his initial 6 months at the club when we signed him in January, there was kind of murmurs, there was kind of small talk in the background that O'Reilly was getting looked at by Leicester City while Rodgers was in charge. You can see why. He will be fantastic for Brendan Rodgers. He will be fantastic for him. He was fantastic today. Love him. So, yeah, 4-2. That's my three things. Let's end off with 5 minutes of your questions, your points. We've got over 300 viewers live just now. I don't know how many times this season I'll do the live format of match reviews. I'll probably end up going back to the normal videos that I always do, the edited videos. But let me know if you like it or not. I like getting you guys involved, so let's get some of the questions in. Emma's saying, you planning sinking a couple of cold ones to celebrate? You know I am. You know I am. Stone Cold Steve Austin style. Can I get a hell yeah? Yeah. Let's see. SummerSlam tonight, ladies and gents. Who's buzzing? There's my wrestling fans, eh? We're getting in the LA night train. Yeah. I've got to hate myself. Turnbull was amazing today. Nawrocki looks good so far. I would agree, Brian. Both of those points. I thought Nawrocki looked solid. I like him. I think some people are already saying that he's better than Starfelt. Is Starfelt off? Who knows? I don't think there's enough in it yet to suggest that he is definitely off, but obviously there has been the small talk of Spartak Moscow looking. Let's see. Why can't an Old Firm derby open the season? First of all, what's an Old Firm? I'm joking for the Rangers fans come flying at me. You wouldn't have that opening the season. God, it'd be chaos. It would be absolutely chaos. if a derby opened the season. Jesus. Nice to see people joining in the yes. Thank you. Rodgers said that Starfelt was leaving. Did he? Did he say that? It's news to me. If I missed something breaking news that Rodgers said that Starfelt is leaving, what was Rodgers' post-match comments? I just want to quickly pull them up if I can get them here. Usually you can get them when I'm on the BBC site, they usually have, what the manager said. But I don't think they've actually reported anything yet in terms of Rodgers' post-match comments, which is a bit annoying because that would be nice. Yeah, I think the Starfelt did look a little bit clunky when he came on, but, I think that Nawrocki is very quickly going to solidify his place in that team. People say, a lot of people, yeah, did he? Oh, really? So Rodgers has. God, I've missed that. So Starfelt's away then. Wow, I'm going to go and quickly check this on Twitter. This is, obviously, I've been driving home. I've not had the chance. Basically, I got out of Celtic Park, walked down the road, got in the car, drove here and set up the live stream. Okay, yeah, there we go, Rodgers, aye. Wow. Brendan Rodgers discusses the future. Wow, okay. This is like breaking news to me, basically. Like, I've not seen this. He says, Carl Starfelt could leave. He's been a fantastic servant, but there are reasons why he might want to move on. So it looks as though Starfelt is away then. Okay. Right. Wow. I did not expect that. If he does leave, we need to be back in the market for another centre-half. Genuinely. We need to be back in the market for another one. Like, I was happy with having the three of them. Like, I liked having Vickers, Nawrocki, and Carl Starfelt, and I feel like we still need that. So, yeah, okay, wow. So there you go. Brendan Rodgers has sort of confirmed that Starfelt might be away. Oh God! As long as we get cash, Mark. Yeah, look, listen, I don't know. I don't know what I would evaluate Carl Starfelt at. I think that, we signed him for what, 3-4 million, was it? We need to make profit on that. And he's had a solid 2 seasons. Maybe 5 or 6 million is what I'd probably expect. We need to make profit on it. And unless Celtic know the asset that he is, they're not going to let him go for a fee that they don't think is good enough. So, aye. But Nawrocki looks good, so I'm happy. 4.3 million, yeah. I knew it was around 3 or 4. So, that's interesting. That was also interesting. No Bernabei or Haksabanovic on the bench. Yes, a good point from Deco. I wonder what Forest's involvement will be this season, because obviously came off the bench today, but is it like, oh, this is your special moment, you had your testimonial, you unfurled the flag, you can be involved today, or like, will Rodgers involve him? I'm interested to see where that goes. I'm not going to speculate on either side of it because it's too early to tell, but Tete will not be joining Celtic. That was that was the latest on that. Tete's not coming to Celtic. That's been it's done. It's finished. It's been basically confirmed that. I never expected it in the first place. I think it was a bit pie in the sky, to be honest. But yeah, over 400 viewers. Wow, fantastic! Thank you very much. Hopefully no involvement. It's very simple from Solid Raven on Forest. Hopefully no involvement. Just puts it very. 10 million Europe, 50 million to Saudi. Yep, listen, sell them in Saudi Arabia if we need to. Make the money. Long ball over Taylor for the second. Any good team are going to exploit that so much. It's terrifying. As I said, I do think that left backs is a position that we should be looking in the market for. But yeah, Rocky isn't proven, and we always struggle to sign centre-halves. Can't let Starfelt go on the cheap. Yeah, the money has to be right. Celtic will know that. Celtic aren't just going to let him go. Even if he wants to go, Celtic aren't going to accept the first bid that comes in. Celtic aren't going to be like, right, Carl, you can go. That's it. Away, son. You don't want to be here. We'll take whatever we can get. No, Celtic will make sure the money's right. And they need to be ready to identify the next player to come in. Because Welsh and Scales, for as much as people have been raving about Scales in pre-season, let's not be fucking naive. Let's not be naive. Scales isn't the option. He shouldn't be. We need to sign another centre-half, in my opinion. So like, they need to make the money, they need to identify the next player to come in, etc. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there, ladies and gents. Thank you for tuning into the first match reaction of the season. We'll be back maybe tomorrow, if not back on Monday anyway, and we'll repeat the process. We've still got a transfer window to close come the end of the month. We've got a game next week. We're flying. We're back in business. Brendan's back. The Brodge is here. And Celtic are currently top of the table. So, yes, I think they are. Unless I don't know what the scores are in the rest of the Scottish Premiership games. Yep, we're still top of the league. Motherwell are winning. Good, I've got aim on my cooting. Fantastic. Right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a ear to finish it off. And I'll see you all next time. Cheerio. Bye-bye.